Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube. This is Tarot with Kuka and this is a brand new weekly installment. Like I say, I'm just trying things out a little bit different to see how it rolls out. So I thought I would move the Santa Muerte Book of the Dead Oracle cards over to my YouTube channel from my Instagram. And I thought it was like a beautiful tie-in to kind of like the weekly read, as well as connecting with the Santa Muerte Book of the Dead Tarot deck. So I thought, it was kind of funny because I was writing this down. So I thought maybe, we could call this Wednesdays or Wednesday Wisdom, because this particular card deck is actually created by Fabio Listrani, in which he used 32 cards that are each divided into 4 worlds. And it represents kind of like the likeness of the 4 worlds, I guess, from the Kabbalah. I've never read the Kabbalah. It's actually something I'm quite interested in reading about. So the 4 worlds that are created in this particular card deck, you have the first world, which is emanation, which represents kind of like, according to Fabio Listrani in his guidebook, it's like an architect concept. So it's kind of like the formation of, very abstract, primitive concepts. So it's as I don't know why that, like, the primordial soup kind of comes into play, where it's literally kind of like the start of the universe and all things. So the second world is creation, which now we're kind of getting into a higher sense of concepts, where mathematics, divinities, gods, religions, cults start coming into play in the second set of 8 cards. And then you have the world of formations, which is literally about how our minds kind of go along and create the world in which we're living in. And so it's the primitive, like the thoughts, emotions, and instincts. And in the world of creation, I wanted to get back to that really quick. The second world, it's based primarily on Aztec gods and goddesses, in which they were the roots for the Santa Muerte cult or religion, your beliefs. And so it's kind of like she was formed out of these concepts. And a lot of times in the beginning of my Instagram, I drew some cards out of that world. And Lordy, trying to pronounce some of those names. But, the interesting thing is, as my mind kind of kept getting these cards in repetitive draws, I began to realize what the meaning was. And it literally, like, the minute I figured out why I kept getting these cards, and, because I myself did not understand what I was drawing. So, so again, this is the perfect place for us to learn and kind of make the connections with the universe, as well as these 4 worlds, and see, how we can grow from there. So the last world is the action. And this is kind of where it's the culmination of all the previous worlds as to where we are today and what we do in our daily lives, and based on the choices we make. And the one thing I love about the last world is the artist, Fabio Listrani. He's both the writer and the illustrator. He has awesome artwork on his Instagram too, so I do suggest going to follow him. So he created the last 8 cards, which literally connect into one big picture. Talk about looking, what's that phrase? Looking at the, what was it? Kind of looking at the forest with the tree. Sorry, I bombed that one. but literally, it's we're kind of taking one small detail out of the big picture. And so that's what the last world is about. And if you're looking at the back of my deck here, where you kind of see a partial word of future. So an interesting thing about this particular deck too is that the back of these cards also form a Ouija board. I myself, I am not too comfortable with the Ouija board. So, but I think like Hollywood, kind of gives the stigmatism, like they've romanticized vampires, glamorized witches, and but demonized Ouija boards. As with anything that is used irresponsibly, yes, you can open up dangerous portals. And at the same time, if the Ouija board is used responsibly where you're grounded and protected, so like I say, I'm not an advocate of the Ouija board, but at the same time, tarot cards, anything, if you're not protecting yourself, grounding yourself, connecting yourself to the source, to the divine, you can lead yourself opening up to, dangerous portals. And like I say, Santa Muerte, she is a spirit that can operate both in light and darkness. And like I say with Santa Muerte, we operate in the light. She is part of the light team, and she's highly she communicates a lot. It's really funny because like I say, certain things, I was dwelling on kind of figuring out a name for this, and I had a blank. And it wasn't literally until, because I opened up my journal and I started writing where it came to me, Wednesday wisdom. And previously I had wrote the word reality, and all of a sudden, I'm going to show you what the connection is with that word. But like I say, there's always, I can't express enough, about keeping yourself protected and, focus on the light, focus on the source, focus on God. If your intent is to put love and learn out of, learn from the divine, keep yourself protected and grounded, and like I say, other people choose the other route, and, there's no judgment. That, they know what they're doing. And so, but again, we all get choices, right? So let's begin with our card of the day for our first Wednesday wisdom. We have card number 30. And again, this is like an instinct thing as well. I want to bring up about what happens if you draw the card upside down. Go with your instinct. So I drew this card upside down, and the first thing that came to my mind was no blocks, no reverse, read it upright. And so I'm glad I kind of did, because card number 30 in our world of actions, again, this is about the material world. It opens up, he opens this up with, the birth. I'll read from the guidebook, because it's actually, I love how he describes the world of actions, So we have card number 30, which is realization. It is the card of accomplishment of one's work, the realization of one's projects, but also the comprehension of the entire process we are immersed in. Something with far away roots has passed between our hands, infused emotions into our hearts, and finally bloomed like a flower in our mind and then in our work. We are made up of the same particles that make up any other atom in the universe. Can I repeat that? We are made up of the same particles that make up any other atom in the universe. Talk about connectivity. And it kind of, and like I say, it brings about this whole judgment of the color of skin. We're not that different from one another. We are all made of carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, what are the other DNA building blocks? But like I say, we're all connected one way or another. When we are moved by something, it is the universe that watches and is moved by itself, participating in its joyous merriment that was made possible only by the form, albeit a transitory one, that the Holy Mother has given us. So, I love it. It's kind of like waking up to a eureka, and one of the things about the card of the week with the devil, and it seemed like the universal message here was, facing our fears. And um, and with the healing mantra, what we got out of those positive words with the baby steps was grounding ourselves. That is the baby step to help us face our fears, is grounding ourselves, because we stand strong together if we're all, if we're grounded, but if you don't ground yourself, like a poorly founded, a building that is, not on a strong foundation, it can sway. So, as usual, just like the Tarot, Book of the Dead, we have the advice of the dead. And so the advice of the dead here, it is time to understand the nature of your act, because realization is coming and results are near. So, very powerful motivation here. And the funny thing is, like I say, on my Instagram, I have reshuffled things there where it's more or less learning about the card of the week, which the card of the week on the Instagram is the Empress. And so I began with a positive interpretation from of the Empress through an Angel Tarot card. And today we're going to explore the symbolism of that card on the traditional Tarot card. And hopefully my new deck arrives soon, because we're going to study the reversal and a blank interpretation to follow. So, realization, it seems like it's a perfect connection to our card of the week on both Instagram with the Empress, as well as our situation on from the Devil card on facing our fears and freeing our minds from fear. And so, realization, it's all in our minds. The power of our mind. Once we have realization, we are stronger. Once we have grounded ourselves, we have taken that step. So, I look forward to our new card of the week, our new weekly read for next Saturday. And I just want to send everybody love, light, and many, many blessings. Oh, and by the way, with the moon guidance, we were at the halfway point with the first quarter moon. And so I feel we're now over the halfway point. So the light is now growing back on the moon, and we're coming to a full moon by next week. So we'll study some more about moon guidance, as well as the weekly read and positive vibes and ascended masters. So I just want to send everybody love, light, and many, many, many blessings. Take care.